Hello, everybody. I'm Josh Shepard. A lot of you guys may know me. And tonight we're going to be gathered here with Alexander Massa, or Alex, for our very first Cave Collective collective conversations.
Sure.
And a little bit of backstory of kind of how it came together is, well, like Dexter and I and all of us at the Cave, we're kind of talking about just trying to find different ways to engage the community, engage our circle of friends, and since we're not able to have like these live shows anymore, and that was one of the big things with having live shows was being able to, well, you meet people, pretty much all of the friends that I have now that I talk to regularly and engage with. Most of them I've met at the Cave and through music and art. And so we're trying to find a way that we can do this. And so we've had some of these kind of conversations, like we should start something like this online. And then recently, just maybe 2 weeks ago, Dexter posted an article that was talking about like suicide rates and mental health and all in South Dakota during this pandemic. And part of it even is talking about one of the surprising statistics was Japan in the month of October. They actually had more deaths by suicide than people that have died from COVID during the entire year. And so that really kind of spurred me as like, we have to do something. We have to find some way that we can connect, because people are just really, you're sitting at home, you're not able to hang out the same with your friends. And it really weighs on people. And even people that I think have a healthy frame of mind, it's hard for them. And so people that are more at risk for depression and issues with anxiety and these things, like it's just compounded. It's made it hard for everything. So we are trying to find a way. And a little bit of this is just feeling our way through the dark. We're learning as we go. None of us are really specialists in this area. I mean, I am a nurse, but I don't have a specific background in mental health. But we wanted to find a way that we could bring people together to have conversations, kind of like, like when we meet people at the Cave, but also to give people in our community something that they can use in their life, something that they can use to help the situation that they're in. And so we've decided to invite these speakers to talk about their personal experience, things that they've used to cope, things that they've used to make your life better, to help with depression, to help with any type of mental health issues, and really just your well-being. Like, you have to invest in yourself, and we believe in that, and we believe in doing that as a community. And so this is our attempt at trying to reach out and trying to do something to bring us together in some way, because we're social beings and we need each other. And maybe this isn't the best way to do it. And so that's what we're looking for: any type of feedback, commentary, constructive criticism to make this better, to do something for our friends and family and our loved ones, during this time. It's a really trying time. And so we're looking for ways to make it better. So we've invited a friend here, Alex Massa, who is from South Dakota, a musician, mostly a trumpeter. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But involved with a lot of, I was looking through your profile and seeing all the different like jazz ensembles that you've worked with and places that you've lived. So you've been from here originally, but you've lived in Texas and Canada, Iceland, and currently reside in Chicago now. Is that right?
Actually, I currently live back in South Dakota.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm back here. Yeah, and before that, I was in Chicago. Before that, I was in New Orleans, and yeah, kind of been all over the place for the past 12 years.
One interesting connection that we have is way back when I was in college. I went to there's this hippie music festival they had in Irby, Arkansas, which is out in the middle of the woods in northern Arkansas. That's where I'm from originally.
Okay.
And there was a little band there called Jacob Fred Jazz Odyssey, and I saw that
What?
you had worked with Brian from that, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. You know, small world kind of cliche, right? But
Yeah.
yeah. So without me rambling on too much longer, I just wanted to let you kind of take over, and I think well, you just tell us what you're going to do this evening, and we'll talk about it. We'll let you talk about it, give a presentation, and kind of guide us through a few of these steps. And afterwards, we'll have a brief discussion and conversation. And if there's enough people, we will break out into little breakout rooms. And so the idea behind that is, well, like when we would go to cave shows and all, we'd have these little, you know, you'd meet new people. And if there's a lot of people, it's maybe gets a little bit overwhelming to, you know, talk to a whole group. So we'll break out into these smaller groups. Just kind of introduce yourself, talk about well, what Alex is going to present to us, or talk about what you have done to cope through these times. Just a little bit to get to know one another. And that part will not be streamed live on Facebook. And if you're watching this on Facebook, there should be a link, and we'll put it in the comments as well. If you want to join the Zoom meeting to be a part of these breakout discussions, we'll give you the link to click on that. So Alex, I'll let you take it from here. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh. Well, to begin with, I'd like everyone to sit up in their seat, wherever you're at. If you're on the couch, if you're on a computer chair. I'm on a little wooden IKEA chair that I bought at the Cornerstone Mission here for $2. Not the most comfortable, but yet it is a chair, and yeah, that's where I'm at. Come up to an easy seat, straighten your spine, pretend that there's a line from the top of your head to the ceiling. Pretend to pull on that line, that string, that yarn, whatever it is, and lengthen your body while sitting, closing the eyes. And start to breathe and notice your breath. During our days as humans, regardless of who we are, we tend to not breathe as much as we should be. And even though we have to breathe to stay alive, most of our breaths are shallow. They are weak breaths. They are breaths that cannot really sustain the amount of physical and emotional and intellectual stress that our bodies go through. So just ease into yourself. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Deep breath in through the mouth. Deep breath out through the mouth. Again, through the mouth. Exhale loudly through the mouth. Take a couple of those on your own. Start to lengthen the inhale, lengthen the exhale. Relax into yourself. Give yourself time to take a breath. Bring your right hand or your left hand, place it on your heart, and bring your other hand, place it on your belly. Begin to breathe through the nose and out through the nose. Feel your belly rise. Feel your belly fall. You'll notice a slight rise of the heart. Give yourself this time to let everything fall away. Everything that you're supposed to do, everything that you were supposed to do, everything you think you need to do, let it all fall away. Now take a deep breath in and hold it at the top. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Exhale. Do one more. Hold it. And exhale. Keeping the eyes closed. Inhale, reach both of your arms up above your head. If you want to open your eyes and see exactly what I'm doing, you can. Exhale, bring the arms down. Inhale, reach the arms back up. Exhale, let the arms fall. We're going to do two more. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, release. Inhale, bring the arms up, look up. Exhale, release. Inhale the arms high. Exhale, place the right hand on your right hip and gently stretch with your left arm overhead to your right. Just breathe. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, opposite side. One more breath. Inhale up. And release the arms. Now, seated, you can stand up if you want. Just shake your upper body around. A lot of times we walk through the day, myself included, and we're stiff and we walk like robots. Which it's fun to do the robot when you're at the cave dancing to wicked electronica music. It is not cool to walk around the world like a robot. Take another deep breath in and exhale it out. And then one final one. And just relax. Once again, my name is Alexander, and thanks for introducing me, Josh. You did a great job. As he said, I am a musician. I am a composer. I am a yoga teacher. I am a lot of different things that I have been fortunate enough to experience throughout my life. And I'm here today to talk about my journey through mental health and issues surrounding that, and how I've managed and sometimes not managed throughout my life. And I kind of want to start from where we are right now. And where we are right now is a very unique time. That's no news to any of us. The one thing that is unique is that we are all finally realizing that we are in this together. And regardless of your background, regardless of what you look like, what you believe, you're in this with me, with everyone on this video, with everyone not on this video, with people who don't think it's happening. We're in this together. And I think that with everything that has gone down in the past 9 months, my schedule was completely decimated. As I know, there are other people on this call who are going through the same thing, and all of our lives have been changed. And The first part, like all of us, was very difficult. And the one real saving grace that I had was that since arriving in Chicago, I had deepened my yoga practice. And with that yoga practice came the practice of pranayama, which is basically the art of the breath. And it may seem really simple, it may seem really silly, but when we're feeling stressed, when we're feeling anything that doesn't serve us, I really do believe that we can always come back to the breath. Um, with that being said, it's not always that easy. And I understand that. And there are so many issues that we are each personally dealing with that can't always be cured with a 5-minute breathing session. And there is only so much that somebody can tell someone that is in a dark spot. And I know that I've been in those dark spots. Many of my friends have been in those dark spots. And, you know, when I was on the road a couple of years ago with an artist named Samantha Fish, I was constantly in a dark spot. I was on the road 8 hours a day in a cramped Sprinter van, playing 7 shows a night, sleeping in a hotel room with another member of the band, waking up at 5 a.m. to get in the van to travel another 8 hours. It was nonstop. And even though it was the life I thought I wanted, it put me deeper and deeper into the hole that I thought I was getting out of by leaving my situation where I was before that tour. And there was nothing that really anyone could say to ease the like emotional pain that I was suffering. And the only escape that I had was going inside. And when you're sitting in a van 8 hours a day, there's only so much music you can listen to. There's only so many books you can read. There's only so many YouTube videos you can watch. You know, there's only so much of everything. And I eventually started going in and just sitting in silence with my headphones on, so people thought I was, you know, involved in something. And I just sat there in silence with my eyes closed, basically meditating. And meditating doesn't have to be this sort of thing where you sit, you know, with an ancient thought of Om. It is that for some people. But it's also just being able to sit with yourself without any external stimulation, which is also very hard during a pandemic when we have no real connection outside of our immediate household. So I'm kind of being a little sporadic here, but the issue of not issue, I don't like to say issue, but the emergency that we are all experiencing has the possibility of turning many of us outward with anger and inward with anger for things that aren't getting done. And it's such a hard thing to talk about, especially, I'm going to put this out there. I'm not a trained medical specialist. I am not a trained mental health specialist. So I can only do what I can do and tell you my journey. But all I can say is that find the people, it doesn't need to be a large group of people, but find the people who bring you joy. It's a lot of times not always the people who you thought they might be. Um, it's not the people giving you likes and loves on Instagram and Facebook, and um, it's not the validation you get on the internet. It's the people who are there for you when you text them. And had it not been for my partner, and had it not been for a handful of other people, and actually a woman on the call right now who's listening in from Mexico, um, my last year or two in New Orleans and on the road, and when I moved to Chicago, were supported by just a couple of people who, when I got dark, were there to listen. Which brings me to the next part about what listening is and what listening isn't. And to condense it, not to make listening a binary experience, but we can listen to react and we can listen to respond. And most of the time, especially in this age, in the year of 2020, just the immediate day, so many of us, myself included, a lot of times we listen to react. We listen to tell another person what we think of that or what they should do, rather than listening to sit there and let them tell their story without any judgment, without any reaction, without anything being thrown back at them. And I feel that that is the most important thing that we can do for one another right now, is listen to respond. And that response needs to start with silence and understanding before it starts with, oh, well, yeah, well, it's not that big of a deal, or you're being too serious about this, or all these different things, which I know we all deal with. And it's a practice to sit back and to not say anything. And I can guarantee you that 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know who's listening on Facebook, but I know that there are 4 people on this call that I know right now who, if they got a message on Instagram or Facebook, they would listen to understand. They wouldn't listen to judge one another, or to say what you should be doing. And I think that if you do find yourself in that spot of you need someone to listen to search for that community, and to ask somebody at the beginning, I need you, would you listen and not give me any advice? Which is very hard for us to do as humans, because if 2020 has shown us anything, we all have the answers, right? But I guess apart from that, things that are outside of you, that you can do that aren't in your physical location, just getting exercise, go outside for a breath of fresh air. If you're a musician, put what you're feeling into a song, or it doesn't even need to be a song. You don't need to create a top 40 hit. You don't need to create anything. I create sometimes the weirdest, most unlistenable music that you might think. And I don't care what other people think, because I made it, and it was my either joy coming out. Sometimes it was anger coming out. Sometimes it was depression coming out. Sometimes it was anxiety coming out. A lot of times it's anxiety coming out. Almost all the times it's anxiety coming out. But the fact of the matter is finding some outlet for that darkness. And I know it's always easier said than done. And I just challenge you, whenever you're in that spot, I challenge all of us, and I challenge me every day, to, instead of taking it out on somebody, instead of taking it out on a friend, on a partner, to take it out on music, to take it out on exercise. That's what it's there for. It runs off that, and it fuels joy. Yoga, I was certified. I took a 200-hour training in March, right before the shutdown happened, and I also had that to kind of fill my time for the first 9 weeks of the pandemic, which was a huge help. And I feel really lucky that that was there for me. And now that I know that that was there for me, I'm in a position to tell people that it's there for you too. And with all the resources online, for beginners to advanced, I really do feel that yoga, along with meditation and pranayama, which is the art of breathing, is a great way to bring it together, and you know, to really focus our energy on building inside, and getting that darkness out. What do you think, Josh?
That's beautiful, man. I really appreciate like what you said about when you said take it out on music, because that's what I think. Like music and art, like that's what it's there for. Like you can take out your sadness on it, your anger on it, your fear on it. Like it will take whatever you can give it, and that's what I love about it. Is it's there for you anytime you need. You can reach out to it and do, and it'll take whatever you got. Another thing that you said I thought was special, and that's what like has really made this cave really special for me, is to find the people who bring you joy. And that's that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to introduce new people, but it's like I've said, really it's been a year and a half. Most of my closest friends right now are people that I've all met through the cave. My bandmates that I currently play with I've met through the cave, and that's really what helped. I mean, having someone that I can talk to. I know like Dexter and Natasha, I could call up anytime and talk to them, and they would listen like without judgment. And I count myself very special for that. I do. So you said you got into yoga just this March, right before the lockdowns and the pandemic really came out. What was it that brought you to it? Why did you decide that to kind of go into that?
Well, I've actually been practicing yoga since I was about 20, for about 12 years now. And it was like off and on. And I got more into it when I worked on the cruise ship, and then kind of fell out and came back. But when I got to Chicago, I moved up there to be with my partner, Crystal, who's on, and she lived right around the corner from one of the dopest independent yoga studios in the Midwest. And I knew that I needed it because I had started up again in New Orleans, and when I was on the road, like I said, I really was trying to focus in and like find a way to not only like get rid of anxiety, but a way just to manage manage my emotions without making that sound like a too I guess too meta, but just a way to like manage my emotions and my energy, so that things that didn't so that people and things didn't bother me so much. There are things that I feel we should be bothered by and that we should act on. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, somebody cutting you off in traffic should not be that bothersome. But yet I still fall victim to that. I'm just like,
sure.
It's like that is totally not your problem, bro. Calm down. And so when I got to Chicago, I started going there and just like really enjoying the process of really learning more. It was really like learning about myself all over again.
Mm-hmm.
So when the new year hit, I knew that I wanted to get more into it and to become a certified instructor and really understand more of the form and of the practice. And it has helped me a lot. That being said, I still struggle with everything every day, all the time.
Sure. It's really amazing how those things, well, I've never really practiced yoga too much besides, watching some videos and doing some stretches and breathing and stuff, with my kids in the living room. But just sitting down and doing that breathing and relaxing with you, like it really opens you up. Like it calmed everything down. I was a little bit nervous about, running this little meeting and all. And it just like, oh yeah, I just need to breathe. I'm good. It really helped.
Yeah, it's such a simple thing, which makes it so difficult. The ancient yogis always used to say, it is difficult to create nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult to create nothing. It's difficult for us to sit there and just say, you know what? I have everything I need right now.
I can see how that really lends itself to, like you were talking about, listening. When you listen, like to your friends, when they, when they're kind of just pouring out, like you don't always have to say something. Sometimes they just need someone for you to listen. You don't have to give a response. You don't have to give advice. And that kind of goes hand in hand with that. Just breathe, just listen.
Yeah.
It really helps everyone all around.
And it's important to listen to yourself, to take those moments to feel your feelings, to feel what it really is. Like, if you're feeling bad, why are you feeling bad? Is it a physical thing? Is it a stomach ache? Do you have a bruise on your leg from running into the chair the other night? Like, what is it that is hurting you? And I feel like the more we can listen to ourselves and sit with that honesty, which is the most difficult thing to do, right? To look inwards and be like, wow, this is where you're screwing up right now, Alex. This is what you're doing that is causing you emotional and intellectual harm right now. No one else is doing it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are times that there will be a lot of different things directed at you that will hurt, but so much of what we feel and how we respond to the world, we can control. But it takes practice. It's not just like, you're like, oh, I'm going to do that. And then you wake up the next morning and you're like, I don't feel anything guy, where you're just like, oh yeah, whatever.
Right. Well, so that brings up a question. How do you use, well, so you use like you're being a musician, and art as an outlet, and also yoga as an outlet. Both of them are very spiritual to me, and a spiritual connectedness. How do you have like a routine that you go by, or do you just have like kind of, when do you turn to music and when do you turn to yoga? Like what is kind of guides you in those avenues?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. To be honest, since the pandemic hit, I've been struggling every day with trying to like find that balance and like trying to reset the routine that I had day to day. And it's so difficult for me, and I'm sure for a lot of other people, to get routines set. Like there's some statistic that says that it takes 21 days to form a habit, right?
Right, I've heard that.
I don't know if that's true, but it also only takes one day to break a habit.
Right.
And so this year has been difficult, and really I've just been trying to like musically for a routine, I try and get at least half an hour of like playing long tones and a couple scales in every day, because I know I'm not going to sit there and practice for 4 or 5 or 6 hours like I used to. I just, I'm not playing shows. I'm not on the road. I'm not really recording. I'm doing things here and there, and I'm grateful for that little bit of work that I do get that allows me to um, be a musician and also be safe and keep others safe. But just trying to wake up and trying to play a little bit of trumpet every day. Same thing with yoga and practicing yoga and practicing breathing. And sometimes that's like my partner and I just sitting where I am right now and doing the same amount of breathing exercises that we did at the beginning of the conversation.
Right.
And like the beautiful thing about yoga is that it doesn't need to be the same thing every day for the same person. Some days I'm ready to go and I do an hour and a half or 2 of intense, like just incredibly bodily exhaustion and mind exhaustion and spiritual exhaustion. And some days I'm like, that was my yoga. All right, I'm going to go.
Right. Yeah, I was really surprised with this pandemic. I've been thankful I have a job where I can work from home a good bit. But I thought I have all this time. I should be writing tons of songs and playing all, and it's really wax and wane. I'll go through periods where I try to pick up my guitar every day, but I'll go through periods where it's just a chore and I have no, no inspiration, no nothing. And then I have had times like it's been a lot less than I would like, but have times where, okay, I've written some songs, I've worked on some stuff, I feel good and productive. But then it's like the next week comes and it's like, what am I doing? I'm not doing anything. And it's really hard because it's an overcoming kind of thing where, you're not doing something. So you're kind of get depressed, you get, and then you're like, well, why I have all this, why am I not doing this? There's no reason to, and so it's really tough. And so that's what's been good to have, friends I could turn to, like to talk, just to talk to, like they're in the same boat. And like, okay, it's okay. I'm not just a bad person. I'm not just a bad musician.
It has nothing to do with that.
Right. And then it's kind of like the weather, the feelings change like the weather, like the next week, like, oh, this is good. It kind of cleared up and I can do some. So I know everybody has a little bit different experience, but I'm glad to have, well, like this, I would like to do at least some more breathing exercises really before I play. I think like it really kind of opened me up, like it relaxed me and I feel a lot more clear headed. So
yeah. On that note, should we, I don't know how many people are on Facebook, but I could just end with a couple of from Bill Knight. One of my mantras has been, we are ordinary people living in extraordinary times, and it is okay to have some of these frustrations and angers. Yes, exactly.
right.
That, we are surviving a global pandemic. And that's something my partner Crystal reminds me all the time, that we are lucky right now to be alive, because there are a lot of people all over the world who are not. And that's important to realize every day. And that's a great mantra, Bill.
Yeah. So yeah, Alex, if you would like to kind of recap or close, and then I'll make an announcement or two. And since it's just us, I don't think we'll do these breakout sessions. Unless if you guys want to stay on, we can just talk amongst ourselves for a little bit. But I'll make an announcement or two, and then I'll end the Facebook feed if you guys want to just hang on for that. But yeah, if you had anything else you wanted to say, Alex.
I mean, I could say a lot. I could say nothing. Let's just let's do a couple of let's just end with a couple of stretches.
Okay, that sounds great.
All right, so I'm gonna have everybody stand up now that we've been sitting for 40 minutes. And just let your body get loose. And just be like Jello. If you don't like Jello, be like, I don't know, like a piece of licorice. I bet you people that don't like Jello also don't like licorice. I just have a feeling. All right. Bring your arms out in front of you. Make nice little light fists, not too tight. And start to slowly tilt up and down, keeping the breath moving. And bring your hands down, release the fists, and start to really slow and controlled. A lot of times I see people throughout the world and they're doing like basically these kind of wrist exercises, just some nice rotations. You can reverse it. And they go about them really fast, and I see them being really, really hard on their joints. And I think it's important to note that these are good stretches, but they're even better for you and they're less damaging. Not that they're damaging right now, but you're way less likely to get damage when you go slow and you're intentional and a little bit lighter instead of being in the store and you're like, oh, I'm a little tight. Yeah, you see those people. All right. Bring your arms out wide. Make a little fist with your thumbs up. And now we're going to rotate until our thumbs are pointing down. And you're going to feel a little bit of heat here. You're going to feel a little bit of strain. You might feel some cracks and pops. Now rotate up slowly. And then until your thumbs are pointed towards the back of the room, wherever you're at. Again, rotate in and down. This is such a simple exercise and it's so hard because you're lifting your arms up. You're gonna start getting tired, but keep it, Josh. Rotate back up and then out. And then take a deep breath in, hold it, and exhale and release it. Now, I want you to bend the knees slightly, kind of like you're about to sit in a chair. Inhale your left arm out and your right arm back and look towards your right. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here. Inhale, stand back up and reach your arms high. Exhale, down. Inhale, bend your knees again, reach your right arm forward, reach your left arm back, look to the left. Take a couple of breaths here. Inhale, both arms high and stand up. Exhale, go post your arms. We're going to do a little baby back bend. We're going to bend the lower back ever so slightly. Take a breath here and come out of it. Exhale your arms down. We can keep going on. I'm going to leave everyone with that because I know that we all got lives to live. But if anyone's interested, you can follow my Instagram and I'll be doing more easy to advanced classes over the next, hopefully, rest of my life.
Great. Thank you very much, Alex. I hope everyone enjoyed that. I hope everyone got something from that. I just wanted to talk about a few things that are coming up with the Cave Collective. We have our story and song series. This Sunday will be Welby June, a great musician. That's Sunday the 20th at 7 p.m. And then for a little Christmas cheer, we're going to have a Cave Collective Christmas on Tuesday, December 22nd at 7. We have, and Alex, your trio is joining us for that, correct?
Correct. Myself, Andrew Hewitt, and Adante Carter.
Great. I'm looking forward to that. And a few other musicians. So check out our Facebook page for that. The other thing that kind of relates to this we're planning is we met with the Front Porch Coalition, which is a group here in Rapid dedicated to suicide education, teaching, prevention, and like group meetings for survivors and all. And we're going to start, similar to the story and song series, a Front Porch series, hopefully this summer, where we pair local musicians with front porches that need some music and have like socially distanced or what's appropriately safe at the time segments to highlight that this summer. And we hope you'll join us for those. And hopefully at that time, we'll be able to have a few in-person people that will be able to come to those. So just check out the Facebook, Cave Collective Facebook and Instagram pages for all those updates. And I thank you. You guys have a good night.